Okay, I just want to do a quick little video. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I've spent a little bit of time doing this with a couple of people, but I ultimately just want to get it on video just so that it can be reproducible and people can watch it, and so that we can all be on the same page. So first, imagine this white piece of paper is our production facility. Okay. In reality, with this business, we have different departments. We have purchasing, we have marketing, sales, we have the finance and accounting. So we have different departments now. So the building that everybody walks into, that is called the production department. That is the production facility. That is only one part of our entire business. The other parts rarely do people see, except maybe a little bit of purchasing. People might see that a little bit, but as far as the scope of everything else, not a lot of people see the other stuff. So everything that we walk into is very visual, and it appears like that is, everything we do inside the building is pretty much everything in the business. The reality of it is there's other parts of the business that rely on a lot of structure. And with that structure, we use things called dashboards to keep track of our numbers. And if we're not able to access these things called dashboards, which is essentially is a high level view of our numbers, then things start to fall apart, especially in the marketing and especially in the finance. So what we need to do, what's very important, is that we use this same type of structure for our production facility too, and it's really needed. So the first thing is, so I'm going to kind of draw this out here. So we have over here, I believe it's pretty much the it's the kitchen over here, right? Yeah, so it's the kitchen over there. We have scooping over here. We got the dish pit up there. Down here we have what do we have here? We have shipping, right? Yeah, so we have shipping right there. Okay. Over here we have our stock. I'm trying to hold the camera and do it at the same time, but this is our stock. Okay, right? So this is where we keep our actual physical stock, right? And so obviously nothing goes over here until it is a total product. Total product isn't just fudge being made or cookies being made. The total product is the fudge being made. It's scooped. It's in the package, it's got the label, and it's ready to go. And it becomes what's called a stock keeping unit. So a SKU, that's that number on there. But it basically means that, yes, it can be counted now in our inventory, and it's actual product that we have on hand. Down here, right here, this is where the computer is. Okay, so where the intelligence comes from, I should say, where the intelligence comes from, our intelligence as a business, or as a production facility, I should say, our intelligence actually comes from this computer and our stock. So we have a website where people go on and they buy stuff. Okay, so and then when they buy things, our database, which you can't see, it actually talks to our computer, and it tells our computer, well, this is how many things have been purchased, right? And we have a bunch of different stock keeping units, right? We have peanut butter combo, we have buttercream fudge, we have you name it, right? What is it, about 25 to 30 or something stock keeping units, which is 25 to 30 products, essentially. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to rely on this computer talking with the database to get the number of things that are sold. And then what we have, but our job is to go into the stock and count how many SKUs or products, right? How many containers of fudge that we actually have on hand. And so with that, we take this number and we put it in here, and the computer basically computes a number for us that we have to make. And what do we do with that? We take that document and then we run it up here, okay? And we post it up there, okay? So this is our master document. Why this is so important is because with every, oh yeah, I forgot what, this is the sample area too, right? Okay. This is the sample area. So what's crazy is this document literally tells us, it's like our instructions for the day. This document literally tells us exactly what to do for the day, right? We walk into the facility and there's so much going on that it looks so complicated, right? And it is. It's not easy. But one thing we need to realize is that it's our master document. So essentially, the magic of what goes on here that guides us through the day. And what's on that magical document, the reason why it's so helpful, it's numbers. The numbers are what tell us what to do for the day, okay? So this document works pretty good. The problem with it is it doesn't have all of the information, right? Now I'm going to get to that in a second, okay? The next concept is there's a difference between what's called speed, okay, and velocity. Okay, I'm big on language. I'm big on definitions. And the reason why we have to use the same language and the same terminology is because without it, miscommunication happens, okay? So one person could be telling a story and using a term, and then the other person's listening to it, and maybe the person listening to it doesn't actually know the correct definition. Maybe they just thought they did for the last 10 years. But in reality, now that story is different to the receiver, okay? So there's lots of words in the English language that we use on a daily basis that actually, many people don't know the correct definition, right? One vague word that we use a lot, that gets thrown around a lot, is an experiment, for instance. Now, when a data scientist or a scientist or somebody, that has maybe taken statistics or whatnot, when they hear the word experiment, they think about A/B tests and multivariate tests and probability and an actual experiment, which involves like something called a hypothesis, right? And then you put it into a controlled study, and then you have to get a population, and there's all the deviants. I mean, there's all this stuff, right? Now, to a lot of people, they think about experiment. Like if I were to be like, hey, go experiment with cookies, they'd be like, cool. They just grab a bunch of cookie dough and they just start experimenting. And then they'd be like, here, I made like 3 or 4 cookies. What do you think? And I'd be like, well, they're really cool. And they're like, yeah, I was just experimenting. Well, so it's two things to two different people. Experiment can mean, yeah, we're just, kind of doing a bunch of different things and seeing what we think is cool. To another person, an experiment is, well, wait a minute. We didn't come up with a hypothesis, right? And we didn't put it into a controlled study with an actual population. We didn't design the study, right? And that's, I guess, by the book, that's the definition of an experiment. But that's one example. Another thing I speed and velocity. A lot of people that I've come across in life, they think that it's the same thing, right? And that's okay, right? Why? I mean, there's so many words in the English language. It's not like everybody needs to know the exact definition of every word, right? I think it's impossible. There's nobody in this world that could possibly do that. And so we're always learning, right? I'm always looking up. I love words. I'm always looking at words and being like, God, what's the actual definition to that? I'm just so curious with that. Maybe I'm a geek. I don't know, but there's so many words that I've come across in life where I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally didn't even know the correct definition to that for like the first 15 years or 25 years of my life even, right? So words are super fascinating to me because it turns out a lot of the words that I've used my whole life, I'm wrong. And you have to, I've had to humble myself and go, oh my gosh, I was wrong, so at some point in my life, I became a lot more careful with words. I saw the impact that happens when two people are using the same language, but they're not really using the correct definition. So the biggest example too is imagine if one person's talking English and the other one's talking French. Okay. They can't get very far with a project if they're working together, right? So not a lot of collaboration if two people are talking the same language. And we think just because we're talking English and English that we're talking the same language. We're actually not. We're actually not. If two people don't know the actual definition of all the words included in the English language, you're actually not talking the same language right now. You just think you are. So speed versus velocity. Okay, so now let's imagine that we want to, we're in LA, we're in Los Angeles, and we want to get to New York, okay? So what speed, so A is Los Angeles, B is New York. What speed is going like this. See how fast that is? Like that's super fast. Right? Like they're cruising like all the way to New York, man. I mean, they're going like 130 miles an hour. Okay. But they went to Mexico and then Canada and then like down to Oklahoma and then down to Florida. Right. And then up to like Ontario and then down and up. And they eventually made it to New York and they went really, really fast. But the problem is they were very inefficient because they used a lot of gas. They probably used extra time. All the other resources that would be used with an automobile, all the extra food that, was eaten in between, probably a lot of expenses, basically a lot of wear and tear, tires, all this kind of stuff. So essentially they were really inefficient getting from A to B. They were fast, right? They moved really fast. They cooked, but they were really inefficient. Okay. So what velocity is? Velocity is the shortest point or the shortest distance between A and B, okay? So this is Los Angeles, this is New York, right? Velocity is this. Okay, velocity is that, okay? They might have gone a little bit slower, maybe taken it easy a little bit, but they went from A to B and they did it in the shortest distance possible, the straightest line possible. Okay, so we're kind of up here with a lot of things. I mean, we have people that come in and for the most part, everybody does a fantastic job. I mean, everybody does. I mean, we have such great people here, and so everybody does a great job, but there's some concepts that we don't practice on a daily basis. And that's what I'd like to kind of work on here, that unfortunately kind of makes us do this, right? And what makes us do this is imagine if the people in LA wanted to get to New York, but so what's the first thing that they do when they want to go there? Well, what they do, if they want to do this versus this, they're going to get the best map possible. They're going to get the most updated map possible. with all the bells and whistles. Like, they're going to use like an online Thomas guide or something like that. That's super updated, and it's going to have road closures, and it's going to have everything. So their trip is straight A to B, right? Now, these people up here, they went really fast, but they didn't use a map. They didn't use a central document that guided them. And then, and what that is it's actually based on numbers. A map is actually numbers because you have latitude and longitude. Now, how do we measure all that stuff? It's quantifiable. We put it in numbers. So the numbers guide us, even when it doesn't seem like it. You may think, oh, well, a map's not numbers because it's a visual. Nope. That's numbers too. Okay. So so many things in this world come back to numbers. You go to the doctor, and if they want to see if there's anything wrong with you, they put it in a number, right? This number is elevated. Okay, so now we got to check that, right? Your cholesterol is a number. Your weight is a number, right? You do blood work. They measure your blood work with numbers, okay? So numbers, very, very important, okay? Super important. Okay, so now, with that said, back to this, okay, our actual building and what we're actually doing. Basically, with all of this stuff going on, really all we're trying to do is we know that we just have to do what's on this document, okay? All right, we have to know what's on that document. This is our plan, our battle plan for the day that is going to guide us and make us more efficient. And it does for the most part. The problem is this. So imagine this is our master document, okay? Now, what this master document has on there is it usually has like it has the name of the fudge, okay? And then it has 3 columns over here. 1, 2, 3. All right. 3 columns we really pay attention to, okay? And out of these 3 it's basically it's committed, okay? Which committed is that's how many containers have been sold, and then our website's telling Shipping Easy that's how many of each item has been sold. Now we couldn't really do that manually without the computer, right? So it's pretty cool. We could, and I got to tell you, we did kind of a little bit in the beginning, and it was, holy smokes, was it a nightmare? But we finally started using the system that was built, and we finally got to use. So committed, our stock essentially. So our stock is basically what we actually have here, right? Right. So committed is over here on our website, and it pumps that information in there. Stock, as long as we count this consistently, maybe once or twice a day, we manually feed this information in here, and then our computer basically does a cool number for us called available, okay? And then we sort, by available, and we essentially, negative, 75, negative 83 of this, of that. So essentially, we now know what to prioritize to make, which fudge items to prioritize and make. Super cool. That guides us. What this document is missing, it's missing a few key things, okay? So what we have to do is we have to turn this master document into a super document, okay? Because this is how we get to the kingdom every day, okay? So, because without a plan, it becomes, without a plan, we become these people, and we work really, really hard, but we never really know where we're going, right? So, and we never know when we're done. That's what sucks. Okay. So now, so what we're going to do, I'm gonna change the name. Initially I called this hard inventory and soft inventory. I want to do it a little bit different. I want to call the inventory that we already do, okay, the master sheet inventory that we already do. I'm going to call that auto. Why? Why? Because for the most part, as long as we count this computer does the work for us, and it's a lot more automated. Okay, it's a little bit more automatic. It kind of does the math for us as long as we just count. Okay, now we're also going to have something called manual, and we have to do this every day, first thing. Okay, and I promise it's not going to take too long, and we're going to get better at it. Okay, now with this manual inventory, really what it is. So what would we actually need? What's the missing information that we need to make a super awesome production plan for the day? Okay. So we have most of our stuff that automatically gets kind of done. Awesome. But what we're missing two sections. One is the coupon codes. Okay. Coupon codes. Okay. Right now we have, what is it for? We have 5 that involve actual product. Okay. That's going away here like literally almost tomorrow. So we might be down to 1 or 2. Okay. So typically when we don't do a sale, we have, typically we don't have any. We have I Love Fudge, which is a coupon code for 15% off, but typically we don't have any. But let's just say we're in the same situation we're in right now, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we have 5 coupon codes. Now, with that, so over in Shipping Easy, there's a way, I'm not going to show this in this video, but there's a way to actually sort by coupon and then just manually count the coupons. Okay. So, I'm looking at the time on this thing. It's already 22 minutes. I didn't want to make this too long, but this is very important. This is a very important concept, and I need everybody to watch this video. So I'm going to try to go a little bit faster here, and I'm just about done. So anyway, what we are going to do is we essentially just have to count the coupon codes in Shipping Easy every day. Okay, so every day we're going to know that this one had 15. This one had 60, this one had 54, this one had 45, this one had 7. Okay, perfect. So now we know that, now let's say that this is red velvet, okay? So the way that we figure out how many red velvets we need to make that day is we say, okay, so there's 15 in Shipping Easy that we need to do, okay? On hand, we have 7 red velvets made up. So now that becomes 15 minus 7, okay? And so now we know of the red velvet. Now we know that we need to make 8 today, okay? Very critical. We need that number, okay? So red velvet, we have to make 8 today, okay? Essentially, we're not even doing anything different. Now we're doing the exact same thing as this. We're already doing this. The computer already does this for us as long as we count. We have to count. So as soon as we count, then we're going to get this really cool number, okay? And we're going to add this to that document, okay? Trust me, this is going to be a little bit simpler. I'm going to do up a little master one here and get these printed off, and we're just going to get better at doing this every day, okay? And so now the next section is it's the cookie packs, right? The sample packs, okay? Same thing. Okay, so and this is the last section, and then we're going to be done. But with the cookie packs, so the best way to look and see how many sample packs that we need for the entire day is look at the amount of orders. Look at the amount of orders, okay? So if there's 236 orders in the queue, and we know that each customer per 4 fudge items gets 1 sample pack, And we know about over 90% of our orders are four and five containers. Well, it's a pretty good guess that, if the number says 236, then we probably need at least 236 cookie packs. Now, also what you can do is you can look a little bit longer for an extra few seconds at Shipping Easy, and if you can see that there's 10 orders that actually have 8, well, then essentially what you're going to do, you're going to do a little bit of mental math and be like, oh, a few of them are going to get 2 cookie packs. So you're going to estimate the amount of cookie packs that we need every single day. Doesn't have to be perfect. We just need a minimum. Okay. So let's say we're going to say, okay, there is 236 orders, but maybe 10 or 15 of those are orders with like 8 fudges. So we know that some of those are going to get cookie packs. So 236 plus 8 is about 244. So we know that we're going to have to make 244 cookie packs that day. So naturally, we now know that we're probably going to have to make 244 cookies, right? We're also going to have to make 244 pralines and 244 sets of samples, fudge samples, okay? So the way that we're going to figure out, so that's actually what we have to have. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go over to shipping. We're going to go over to shipping. We're going to go over to shipping and see down here at the end of shipping, okay, we have boxes. We have the brown boxes that hold sets of 50 completed sample packs. The rule for this is we use the boxes that hold 50. Okay, there's a method to this madness. We use the boxes that hold 50. They're the same boxes that the containers already come in, the brown boxes. And when scoopers do 50, they complete 50, they need to note that they made 50 and communicate with this document up here that we've now had 50 completed of our entire number for the day, okay? And place that box of 50 down here on the floor in front of this table, okay? This is also our stock. It helps us count, just like this, right? So maybe we have 1, 2, 3 closed boxes of cookie packs, and then we have one, we'll call this a half, okay? Maybe we have one box up here that's half open, okay? So the person down here doing the quick math, the reason I wanted to do it this way is because I want to make this as simple as possible for whoever's up here creating this little mini command document for the day. So all they have to do now is they just have to look down here and they're like, boom, 1, 2, 3. As long as these are closed and we're adhering to the process, then we know that's what? 3 times 50. Boom. That person now knows that you got at least 150. They can walk down here and see and just open this container and be like, oh, well, that's about half full. And so we know that a full one is 50. So they're like, I'm going to guess and say that it's about 125 or it's about 25. So now we have 51. So we have 150 plus 25. So now this person is going to guess and say, well, I think there's about 175 sample packs completed for the day. Now let's say, so 175 completed for the day. 175 completed for the day. Okay, so we needed 244, which are showing in Shipping Easy. We have 175 done. Okay, so now what's really cool is we can be super efficient and say, what is that? 45, 25, so that's 64, plus, is that 69? I think that's 69 right there, I believe. Okay. Yeah, it should be in my head. So let's do it. 244 minus 175, 69. Boom. So now we know that we only have to make 69 sample packs the entire day today, and we know that that's done. then that's what's called done. So what makes it super easy? So now we also know that we need to make probably 69 chocolate chip cookies, 69 pralines, and 69 pack or 69 things of 69 sets of fudge samples. Okay, what this does is this helps us allocate our resources. Okay, so if somebody is over in prep for 5 hours, where's that other document? Okay, if somebody is over in prep now for 5 hours, just over there baking off a ton of chocolate chip cookies, we only needed 69. We needed 69. Okay, so all these efforts are being misguided because now we're overdoing this, and we might need help over here. We might need help over here, but this person can't help, or this person up here is maybe overdoing what we had to do today because we didn't know our numbers. So they're just guessing how many they have to do. They're just guessing how many they have to do. Then Renee and Jeanine, they'll come in at night, right? And they're like, oh, there's no samples. So now, they're like just doing everything they can. They're scrambling at night, literally, to get everything done. But we never, and so everything is sort of a guess for the most part, except the fudge, okay? The problem with guessing on things like the coupon codes and where it's really slowing us down is because we're guessing on everything, we're probably overdoing and underdoing what we're actually making with the coupon codes. In fact, we are. I know for a fact we are. And what that does is that causes a chain reaction. Let's say that we overdo making one of the coupon codes, and then we need somebody to cut them or scoop them. Well, now it's a chain reaction. Not only did we waste resources today, so we had people spending too much time on this, but then now these people are forced to spend too much time too. So it's a chain reaction. We're overdoing on this. But these people also have to help out with that. So now there's all these people that are actually overdoing the wrong thing, right? So really what this is to allocate things better so that the things that we're doing, we don't necessarily have to go faster. We just have to be doing the right things, right? And that's what this beautiful master document is going to tell us to do. This is our master production schedule. Right? So, and that's a term in businesses and production facilities, is a production schedule. So what we have to do is we have to get on schedule. Okay. Russell Wilson says, when he talks about, kind of how he marches down the field, first time, he likes to kind of either run the ball, or he likes to maybe try to pick up like 4 or 5 yards, with a dump off pass. Okay. And so then he's like second and 5. Okay. And then what he likes to do is pick up another couple yards too. Okay. And then it becomes what's called third and manageable. So what third and manageable is in football is it's like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Okay. So when you're a quarterback, when you only have to pick up like 3 yards, it opens up your playbook, right? So there's lots of things that happen. It means the defense now has to guard for the short run. And so when they do that, it opens up, your wide receivers can essentially open up for the long ball. That's why you see Russell Wilson, hit those receivers, and he's so great at those long balls. He usually hits those on like 2nd and 3rd and manageable. What we need to create in this facility are some 3rd and manageables, right? We need to know what is our schedule. Russell Wilson calls it keeping on schedule, right? He knows every down, he goes into every down with a plan of how many yards he's going to pick up. And he knows how many yards he has to pick up total. It's 10. We need to literally get on schedule in here so that we know how many yards that we need to go to make a first down. Okay, so now as we work throughout the day, what we're going to do is we have to actually just sort of count what we're doing a little bit. Just like in football, Russell Wilson needs to know, okay, it was 1st and 10, but now he needs to know it's 2nd and 7, right? Because his strategy is going to change a little bit. Just like us in here, we only have a certain amount of people and resources. We have to have some strategy on what we're doing, but we have to know our numbers, just like Russell Wilson knows his numbers. Doctors know their numbers. Everybody knows their numbers. Remember the map, it still goes off numbers. We all got to know our numbers. So essentially what we have to do a little bit more counting. And that's what accounting, basically. We have to become a little bit more accountable with our numbers in our actual production facility. So that's all that I have. I'm going to create a little template, and it's not going to be perfect the first time, second time, or third time, but I want to continue to improve on this so that this happens first thing in the day, and we're able to make better, they call them data-driven decisions, okay? So data-driven decisions are always better decisions in this world because you're working off actual hard data, like real data, so you're able to make better decisions. Right now, none of the decisions in here are well, no, I can't say none. I think we do a really good job with this document that's printed off, and the reason why we're so efficient typically with keeping the fudge in stock, or at least knowing where we're at with the fudge, even if things aren't in stock, is because we're using data to make those decisions. So what this is doing here is now we're going to add to that master document, and we're also going to start using data to make the decisions on our other product. And we should be making better decisions. It should be a little bit more relaxed and easier to schedule. Right at 9:30 in the morning, I know that I can help a lot more with getting somebody down there if I know that I have to find somebody that has to make 97 praline packs. I know exactly what to look for. I can, you know what I mean? So we can shoot a home base message out instead of shooting a message out saying, hey, can anybody come down and help? We shoot a home base message out and say, hey, we need 97 sample packs completed. Who can come down there and help us with it? Now, that person, whoever's going to come down and help, can say 97 sample packs. They might have a pretty good idea of how long that's going to take. So then they can make a better decision on coming down and, how long are they going to be down here for 15 hours or are they going to be down here for 4 hours, right? So allows us to make better data-driven decisions, super, super needed. And, I know this is a 37-minute video. I don't expect everybody to watch it, but I'm going to have a few people watch this. I think it's very important. So that's all I got. Bye.